Vatican City, officially known as the Vatican City State, is a sovereign entity located entirely within the city of Rome, Italy. It is the smallest independent state in the world by both area and population, covering approximately 44 hectares, 110 acres, and home to around 800 residents. Despite its size, Vatican City holds immense cultural, spiritual, and historical significance, serving as the epicenter of the Roman Catholic Church and the residence of the Pope. The governance of Vatican City is unique, as it operates as an ecclesiastical state with the Pope serving as its absolute monarch. This governance system includes the Roman Curia, which aids the Pope in administering the Catholic Church worldwide. The state issues its own currency, stamps, and passports, although it relies heavily on Italy for practical support, such as defense, under the Lateran Treaty of 1929. One of the most iconic landmarks in Vatican City is St. Peter's Basilica, an architectural masterpiece and one of the holiest sites in Christianity. It is traditionally believed to be built over the tomb of St. Peter, one of Jesus Christ's apostles and the first pope. The basilica features contributions from renowned artists like Michelangelo, who designed its magnificent dome, and Bernini, who crafted its striking colonnade. The Vatican Museums are another hallmark, showcasing an unparalleled collection of art and historical artifacts amassed by the Catholic Church over centuries. The Sistine Chapel, located within the museums, is famed for its stunning ceiling frescoes painted by Michelangelo, depicting scenes from the Book of Genesis, including the iconic creation of Adam. Vatican City's role as a spiritual center is reflected in the activities and ceremonies conducted there, attracting millions of pilgrims and tourists annually. Events such as the Pope's Sunday Angelus prayer and public audiences provide opportunities for the faithful to engage directly with the Church's leader. The city also serves as a hub for diplomatic relations, maintaining formal ties with numerous countries worldwide. Security in Vatican City is ensured by the Swiss Guard, a small but highly trained force with a history dating back to 1506. Dressed in colorful Renaissance-style uniforms, they serve not only as ceremonial guards, but also as protectors of the Pope. Despite its small size, Vatican City's influence extends globally, making it a prominent symbol of faith and heritage. Here are the historical and famous places in Vatican City. Number 1. Sistine Chapel. The Sistine Chapel, located within the Vatican Museums in Vatican City, is one of the most renowned cultural and religious landmarks in the world. It serves as both a place of worship and an artistic treasure trove, attracting millions of visitors annually. Built between 1473 and 1481 under the direction of Pope Sixtus IV, after whom it is named, the chapel was initially constructed to serve as a private chapel for the Pope and the papal court. Today, it is also the site of the papal conclave, where cardinals gather to elect a new pope. The chapel's architecture is relatively modest compared to its extraordinary interior decoration. Its rectangular shape, measuring approximately 40.9 meters long by 14 meters wide, mirrors the dimensions of Solomon's temple as described in the Old Testament. The interior, however, is adorned with some of the most iconic works of Renaissance art, created by renowned artists of the period. The frescoes on the walls were painted by prominent artists such as Sandro Botticelli, Pietro Perugino, and Domenico Ghirlandaio. These artworks depict scenes from the lives of Moses and Jesus Christ, reflecting the continuity between the Old and New Testaments. However, the chapel's most famous feature is its ceiling, painted by Michelangelo between 1508 and 1512 under the commission of Pope Julius II. The ceiling frescoes portray scenes from the Book of Genesis, including the iconic creation of Adam, where God reaches out to touch Adam's hand, symbolizing the imparting of life. Michelangelo's Last Judgment, painted on the altar wall between 1536 and 1541 at the request of Pope Paul III, is another masterpiece of the Sistine Chapel. This dramatic and highly detailed depiction of the second coming of Christ and the final judgment of souls is both powerful and complex, filled with dynamic figures and vivid emotions. The Sistine Chapel is not only a marvel of art, but also a spiritual center. It continues to host important religious ceremonies and events, including masses and papal gatherings. The delicate preservation of its frescoes has been a priority, as the chapel's historical and artistic significance remains unparalleled, Combining faith, history, and artistic genius, the Sistine Chapel stands as a testament to human creativity and devotion. Number 2, Vatican Museums. The Vatican Museums, located within Vatican City, are among the largest and most prestigious museum complexes in the world. Established by Pope Julius II in the early 16th century, they house an extraordinary collection of art and historical artifacts amassed by the Catholic Church over centuries. The museums span nearly 7 kilometers of galleries and rooms, showcasing works from ancient Egypt, classical antiquity, the Renaissance, and beyond. Millions of visitors flock to the Vatican Museums annually to explore their unparalleled treasures. The collection begins with ancient artifacts, including Egyptian mummies, Etruscan urns, and Greek and Roman sculptures. The Pio Clementine Museum, one of the oldest sections, contains renowned classical statues such as the Laocoon and his sons and the Apollo Belvedere. These masterpieces exemplify the artistic achievements of ancient civilizations and their influence on Western art. Renaissance art forms the centerpiece of the Vatican Museums. Among the highlights are the Raphael Rooms, a series of papal apartments decorated with stunning frescoes by Raphael and his workshop. The most famous of these is the School of Athens, which celebrates philosophy and features likenesses of prominent thinkers such as Plato and Aristotle. The Sistine Chapel, part of the Vatican Museums, is a focal point for visitors. Its ceiling, painted by Michelangelo between 1508 and 1512, depicts scenes from the Book of Genesis, including the iconic creation of Adam. Michelangelo's Last Judgment, painted on the chapel's altar wall, is another monumental work that draws admiration for its scale and detail. The Vatican Museums also include the Pinacoteca, a gallery housing paintings by masters such as Caravaggio, Leonardo da Vinci, and Titian. The Gallery of Maps, a long corridor adorned with intricate frescoes of historical maps, showcases the geographical knowledge of the 16th century. Another unique attraction is the modern and contemporary art collection, featuring works by artists like Van Gogh, Salvador Dali, and Pablo Picasso. Architectural marvels such as the spiral Bramante staircase enhance the visitor experience. The museums also house vast collections of manuscripts, tapestries, and religious relics, reflecting the Catholic Church's historical and cultural legacy. The Vatican Museums serve as a bridge between faith and art, preserving humanity's artistic achievements while providing insights into centuries of history, spirituality, and creativity. Number 3, Stanza di Raffaello. The Stanza di Raffaello, or Raphael Rooms, are a series of 4 rooms in the Vatican Palace that were decorated by the renowned artist Raphael and his workshop. These rooms are among the most significant artistic and architectural achievements of the Renaissance and are considered some of the finest frescoes ever created. Located within the Vatican Museums, they were commissioned by Pope Julius II to be used as papal apartments, and Raphael's work transformed them into a breathtaking display of artistic brilliance. The most famous of these rooms is the Stanza della Segnatura, which features Raphael's masterpiece, the School of Athens. This fresco, depicting the great philosophers of ancient Greece, is widely regarded as one of the most important works of Renaissance art. In it, Raphael skillfully includes a wide range of intellectual figures, including Plato, Aristotle, Socrates, and Pythagoras, and uses perspective, composition, and vibrant color to create a sense of depth and intellectual vitality. The fresco symbolizes the unity of human knowledge, blending philosophy, science, and art. In the Stanza dell'Incendio del Borgo, Raphael and his workshop depicted scenes from the life of Pope Leo IV. The most prominent fresco here shows the miraculous fire that threatened the Vatican in the 8th century. The dramatic portrayal of this event is filled with emotion and movement, capturing the chaos of the fire and the Pope's efforts to protect the city. This room also features allegorical depictions of the virtues of the Pope and the Church, blending religious and political symbolism. The Stanza di Eliodoro is another room that showcases Raphael's skill in conveying narrative through fresco. It depicts scenes from the life of Pope Julius II, and the most famous fresco here is the expulsion of Heliodorus from the temple, which illustrates a biblical story of divine intervention. This fresco captures a dynamic moment with remarkable energy, emphasizing Raphael's ability to infuse religious subjects with dramatic realism. The final room, the Stanza della Libreria, features less famous works, but still represents Raphael's extraordinary ability to create harmonious and rich environments. The frescoes in this room are often considered the least complex in terms of composition, but are nonetheless important in understanding Raphael's growth as an artist. The decoration in this room was completed after Raphael's death by his students, preserving his artistic legacy. Each of the Raphael rooms serves not only as a showcase of artistic excellence, but also as a symbol of the Renaissance's intellectual and cultural ideals. Raphael's work in these rooms reflects a deep respect for classical antiquity, as well as a desire to elevate the intellectual and spiritual life of the church. The rooms continue to draw countless visitors each year, who come to admire the timeless beauty and profound messages conveyed through the artist's skillful use of fresco. Number 4, St. Peter's Square. St. Peter's Square, or Piazza San Pietro, is a grand and iconic plaza located directly in front of St. Peter's Basilica in Vatican City. Designed by Gian Lorenzo Bernini between 1656 and 1667 under the commission of Pope Alexander II, it is one of the most famous examples of Baroque architecture and urban design. The square serves as a central gathering place for pilgrims, tourists, and worshippers, particularly during important papal events and ceremonies. The square's design is characterized by its vast, elliptical shape, symbolizing the welcoming arms of the church embracing humanity. Two semicircular colonnades, composed of 284 Doric columns and 88 pilasters, form the square's perimeter and create an impressive visual effect of grandeur and openness. Atop the colonnades are 140 statues of saints, crafted by Bernini's students, further emphasizing the spiritual significance of the site. At the center of St. Peter's Square stands a 25.5-meter-tall Egyptian obelisk, which dates back to the 13th century BCE and was brought to Rome by Emperor Caligula in 37 CE. The obelisk, made of red granite, was relocated to its current position in the square by Pope Sixtus V in 1586. It is topped with a cross that supposedly contains a fragment of the true cross. The obelisk is surrounded by a circular compass rose, marked with a bronze wind rose, adding a unique geographical dimension to the square. The square also features two large fountains, one designed by Carlo Maderno in 1613 and the other by Bernini in 1675. These fountains enhance the symmetry of the square and provide a calming auditory backdrop for visitors. The visual alignment of St. Peter's Square is carefully designed to guide the eye towards St. Peter's Basilica, emphasizing its architectural and spiritual significance. The Basilica's facade, with its grand staircase and central balcony where the Pope gives blessings, dominates the view from the square. The openness of the square contrasts beautifully with the ornate details of the Basilica. St. Peter's Square is a vibrant hub of activity, hosting weekly papal audiences, canonizations, and Easter and Christmas celebrations. The square's ability to hold hundreds of thousands of people underscores its importance as a spiritual and cultural meeting point. Its combination of historical, artistic, and religious elements makes it a masterpiece of urban design and a focal point of Catholic life. Number 5, St. Peter's Basilica. St. Peter's Basilica, located in Vatican City, is one of the largest and most renowned churches in the world. It is a masterpiece of Renaissance architecture and a central symbol of the Roman Catholic Church. Constructed on the site traditionally believed to be the burial place of St. Peter, one of Jesus Christ's apostles, and the first pope, the basilica has immense spiritual, historical, and artistic significance. The basilica's origins date back to the early 4th century, when Emperor Constantine commissioned a church over St. Peter's tomb. However, by the 15th century, the structure had fallen into disrepair, prompting Pope Julius II to initiate plans for a new basilica. Construction began in 1506 and continued for over a century, involving many of the greatest architects and artists of the time, including Bramante, Raphael, Michelangelo, and Bernini. The basilica's dome, designed by Michelangelo, is one of its most striking features and dominates the skyline of Rome. Standing at 136 meters, 448 feet tall, it is an engineering marvel and offers breathtaking views of the city and the Vatican gardens from its top. The interior of the dome is adorned with mosaics depicting biblical scenes, further enhancing its grandeur. The facade of St. Peter's Basilica, designed by Carlo Maderno, features Corinthian columns, statues of Christ and the Apostles, and a central balcony, known as the Loggia of the Blessings, where the Pope delivers his Urbi et Orbi blessing. The grand staircase leading up to the basilica emphasizes its monumental scale. Inside, the basilica's opulent interior features a central nave, side chapels, and stunning works of art. One of the most famous sculptures housed here is Michelangelo's Pietà, a moving depiction of the Virgin Mary cradling the body of Jesus. The bronze baldachin, designed by Bernini, stands above the papal altar and marks the location of St. Peter's tomb. The basilica also holds relics, including the Chair of St. Peter and numerous papal tombs, making it a significant pilgrimage site. The combination of its religious importance, artistic achievements, and historical connections makes St. Peter's Basilica an enduring symbol of faith and an architectural wonder admired by millions worldwide. Its role as the Pope's principal church and the site of major Catholic ceremonies underscores its global significance.